Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Thanksgiving special, Thursday edition of the Shed. Hashtag Irish BillsMafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along to the show. Um, it's a bit earlier than normal because the games are starting earlier, so I want to give my picks. And I'm looking forward to watching at least one of the games, and maybe if the Cowboys and Giants is any good, I might stay up and watch that too. But we'll wait and see. We'll watch a bit of it anyway and see how it goes. And you're very welcome along to the show, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm very grateful for anyone that watches the show, supports me, talks to me in any of the social medias, likes, helps, does anything. I am so grateful to everyone. Always know that. And you're very welcome along, and I hope you enjoy the show this evening. So tonight I'm going to review week 13 week 13 in the NFL. There's a full slate of games, the 16 games this weekend, so no team has a bye. But they start from 3 tonight on Thanksgiving games, one and Black Friday tomorrow, and then Sunday and Monday. And our game against the 49ers is the Sunday night game. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we start tonight with the first game that's on, and it's probably less than 2 hours kickoff. 6 p.m. here is kickoff as far as I know. So I'm looking forward to it. It's the Bears at the Lions. So how do we see this game going, or how do I see this game going? Well, I'm going for the Lions, firstly. They're 10-1. Bears are 4-7. The Bears have had an awful run of bad luck. Now, I heard yesterday, I don't know how true it is, that the Lions haven't won, a Thanksgiving game. Is it in 7 or 11 years? I'm not 100% sure, but it's one of the two. I don't see that continuing today. I just think Jared Goff and his offense, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Montgomery, Gibbs, and so on are just too hot at the minute. And Caleb Williams has improved, and the Bears have improved. But Matt Eberflus is under severe pressure, and I think Dan Campbell will put him to the sword tonight. Whether that'll be the end of him at the Bears, we'll see, because if they go 4-8, that's season over. It's over anyway, but it's season over. And I don't see how, their luck can change. They have been, very unlucky with the Hail Mary, very unlucky with the block punt by the Packers. Last weekend, they got it. Now, they were lucky to get it to overtime, but then they were unlucky that they didn't complete it. They're just going through a bad vein of form, and I just think that tonight it's going to continue. Now, if they put up a show, it might show the head guys in Chicago that maybe there's progress being made. If they win, of course there is. If they get hammered like the Jaguars or the Titans, yes, the Jaguars and the Titans did by 50 plus points in each game, then I think that's Matt Eberflus and a lot of his coaches gone. And Caleb Williams will have to restart again with another coach next year. But I'm going for the Lions. They're 10-1. I think they'll be 11-1. It would make things interesting if they were 11 or 10-2. For the rest of the NFC. But I don't see that happening tonight. Then the middle game is the Giants at the Cowboys. Like, I wanted the Packers and the Dolphins really to watch. I won't see that tonight. That's the late game. 2-9 Giants, I think they're a farce. 4-7 Cowboys, I think they're a joke. Not the players or the fans, just how their ownership is running things. And I'm picking the Cowboys in this. I think Cavante's Turpin's 99-yard return is a turning point for them. They're not going to beat any of the big teams, but I think they'll get a couple of wins between now and the end of the season. Drew Lock, from what I hear, is starting tonight as quarterback and not Tommy DeVito. So it'll be interesting to see, can Drew Lock get anything going in this offense? Malik Neighbors is crying out for passes. Will they throw to him more? Like, I'll be honest, this game I just tossed a coin because the Giants could win it. I'm not saying they're out. They could win it. It's a divisional game. They'll be up for it. And the Cowboys haven't won a home game all year. So that favors the Giants. They're absolutely a shambles. And the Cowboys aren't much better, but the Cowboys did have a win at the Commanders last weekend, and that's why I'm going for the Cowboys this evening. Then the late game was the one I was looking forward to most out of all these 3 games today, and I'll be getting up in the morning when it's finishing, is the Miami Dolphins at the Green Bay Packers. I found it very hard to pick a winner on this for my picks. I have gone with the Packers because they're at home and it's very cold, apparently, in Green Bay. But Tua has brought the Dolphins back to life since he came back from his injury. And they've won 3 games in a row, albeit not against huge opposition, but this will be a big test tonight. I don't like them because when they went to Kansas in the cold weather last year, it's not that they lost to Kansas. They didn't even try. They were already bet. And tonight's going to be cold at Lambeau Field, and Jordan Love and co are on form. They had a brilliant win last weekend. Josh Jacobs, will they stop him? He was awesome last weekend. It is going to be a tougher defense he's going up against this week. The Dolphins are improving, but I'm going to lean towards the Packers. They're 8-3. Sorry, maybe I cursed them there now, saying 8-4. They should be 9-3 at the end, and maybe the Dolphins will win. They're 5-6 at this minute, but I'm going to go for the Packers in this one. Then tomorrow we have the Raiders at the Chiefs. Tomorrow night, that is. The Raiders did beat the Chiefs last year. Up until the Bills, that was their last defeat between then winning the Super Bowl and playing us 2 weeks ago. Chiefs are 2-1. They're not impressive. The Raiders are 2-9. They're pathetic. Even Max Crosby doesn't look like himself. And I'm going for the Chiefs in this. I think it could be a rout. I think it could be that game that the Chiefs click, that they just, I know it's a divisional game. I'd love to see the Raiders put it up to them, but they don't have a quarterback. They don't know who's their starting quarterback going to be. It's not going to be Daniel Jones because he went to the Vikings. Minshew is out injured, so it's probably going to be Aidan O'Connell, and Aidan O'Connell doesn't sit the world delight, unfortunately. Then we have a very interesting game. It's the Chargers at the Falcons. The Chargers are 7-4. The Falcons are 6-5. The Falcons are coming off their bye week. Kirk Cousins and co, they're brilliant one week, and then they let you down the next. The Chargers have come off a tough loss against the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night, and they weren't overawed. They weren't battered out the gate, but it was a tough loss. Who do I see winning? Well, it's Justin Herbert versus Kirk Cousins, and I'm going to hit Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh on this. If they want to keep up with the Chiefs and the Broncos, especially the Broncos for a wild card place, they have to win this. The Falcons, basically, they've already won their division. Tampa Bay is second. Tampa Bay has to go 5-0. If they win 3 games, because they've beaten Tampa twice, they've already won the division. So the Falcons, they can afford to lose it, whereas the Chargers really can't. So I'm going to hit the Chargers on this one. I'm going to go for them and see how it goes. But it's one of them games, like a lot of them this year, it's very hard call. Then we have the Steelers at the Bengals. Steelers are 8-3, coming off a bad loss against the Browns. The Bengals are coming off their bye week. Joey Burrow and Jamar Chase are playing the football of their lives. Unfortunately for the Bengals, they don't have a defense. On the Steelers side, they don't have an offense. I think once or twice this year they've clicked. That's it. And it's been all tight games and good wins for them, but tight games. And I'm going for the Bengals in this one. The Bengals played 2 awesome games against the Ravens. And the Ravens have an offense. And it was the Ravens offense that beat the Bengals offense in the end on both times. The Steelers have a great defense. But their defense, really, their strongest part is their defensive line and TJ Watt and co. And Joey Burrow, if he gets the ball past that, he has wide receivers that will stop him. And because of that, I'm going to go for the Bengals, just to be different. I think if the Steelers win, it'll be a big feather in Russell Wilson's cap, because they will have gone to a divisional rival, but they will also have taken on a top-class quarterback and beat him. I know they beat Lamar Jackson, but I think they're going to have to be more expansive this weekend if they're going to beat Joey Burrow and the Bengals, and that's why I'm going for the Bengals. Then our next game is the Texans at the Jaguars, another divisional game. The Texans are in awful form, lost to the Titans last weekend, 7-5. Jaguars are coming off their bye, and they're 2-9. Doug Peterson, I don't know if he's going to be there next year. I don't know if even Trevor Lawrence will be there next year. CJ Stroud, I think, has been found out, and his offensive way of playing, not his fault, but the way of playing has been found out by defensive coaches. I still go for the Texans in this. They have Nico Collins. He's another week behind him. He should be fitter. Tank Dell should hopefully get a bit more. Joe Mixon should get a bit more play this weekend against that Jaguars defense. And I'm going to go for the Texans. But if it's a thing the Texans lose this and the Colts are playing the Patriots and the Colts can win, wow, it'll really open up this division. And that division should have been shut up a long time ago. As for the Jags, I think they're playing for the number 1 pick next year. So I say no more about that. Then we have the Cardinals at the Vikings. Cardinals had, for me anyway, a surprising loss to the Seahawks last weekend. The Vikings are 9-2, and they ain't setting the world alight, but they are winning games. Now, they had a cracker against the Bears last weekend, but it shouldn't have been a cracker. They should have put it away. Addison had a mighty game, whereas Justin Jefferson played well, but wasn't his normal self. But he did show up when he was needed. Sam Darnold now has another bit of competition at quarterback. Daniel Jones was signed after his waivers from the Giants, and it's not that he's going to come in and replace Sam Darnold, but at least if something happens, Sam Darnold, the Vikings have a quarterback who would maybe different coaching could be a totally different player. So time will tell. I'm going for the Vikings in this one. They have to stay on the coattails of the Lions, and if the Lions, which they should do, beat the Bears this evening, then they can't let them go too far ahead. Then we have the Colts, the Patriots. So it's going to be Anthony Richardson against Drake May, a rookie and a guy in the second year. Really, some people are calling it his rookie year too because he's missed so many games last year. Colts are 5-7, Patriots are 3-9. If the Colts want to have any chance of catching the Texans and getting a wild card spot, they have to win. So I'm picking the Colts. The Patriots are awful against the Dolphins last weekend, and the Colts aren't much better against the Lions. They only scored 6 points, but I just think they have to win the game more than the Patriots. So I'm going to go for the Colts. Anytime I do pick the Patriots to lose, so I'm going to give them a chance this weekend. Then we have the Seahawks with the Jets. The Seahawks had a great win against the Cardinals last weekend. Geno Smith, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Co. had turned it on. It wasn't a brilliant turn on, but they got the job done. Whereas the Jets are 3-8, no more than the Cowboys. They're a bit of a joke, starting at the top, working down. There's so many comments coming out about Aaron Rodgers. Has he said, does he want to play with someone else next year? Has he said he wants to stay there next year? Or has he said he wants to retire? If I would say I'd retire, but I'm not him, so he likes to be in the limelight. I'm picking the Seahawks in this. I think they're on a bit of a roll. They should put the Jets away, but they have to cross the country, so maybe the flight might have something to do with it. But I go with the Seahawks, and they should be 7-5 come Monday morning. Then we have the Titans, who beat the Texans last week, against the Commanders, who lost to the Cowboys last week. So you've got two opposites. The Commanders are 7-5. They need to get to 8-5 to have any chance of getting a wild card because the Eagles are ahead of them. The Titans are 3-8. Their season's over. They did do very well last weekend to beat the Texans, but they did show up a lot of the Texans' weakness. And Will Levis is improving. He's still got an interception here or there, but he has improved an awful lot. So I'm going to go with the Commanders this weekend. Jaden Daniels, he's had a rough few weeks, but hopefully now this will be a turning point for him to get back on the winning road and push on and make a playoff at least. They were favourites for that division 3 weeks ago. Look how quick it's changed. Then we have another divisional game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. Buccaneers are 5-6. Carolina Panthers are 3-8. 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, this is a Buccaneers win all day. Now I am going for the Buccaneers because they were awesome last weekend against a poor Giants team. But the Carolina Panthers did put it up to the Chiefs last weekend, and Bryce Young, for me, played his best game in a Carolina jersey. I think Baker Mayfield will have too much. Mike Evans is back, and they look to be a lot better when he is back. But the Panthers will put it up to them. I don't see it being as easy as I did 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I am going for the Buccaneers in this one. They have to win to keep pace with the Falcons. But the Panthers, they're not going to just let them win go away too easy. They're going to fight for a bit of pride. Then we have the Rams at the Saints. Now, this is one, I don't know who's going to win it, to be honest. I picked the Saints because they're at home, and Derek Carr has a bit of form behind him. And the Rams have been hit and miss. The Rams really can't afford to lose it. This, for me, the Saints season is over, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to go for Derek Carr. I just think him and Kamara and Cole just, the last 2 games have played very well. The Rams have lost 2 and won 1, and the one that they won, you didn't think they were going to win, and the 2 that they lost, they should have won. So it's up and down with them. I don't know what Rams you'll get. Like Puka Nacua is playing very well, Cooper Kupp, Stafford, but they're just can't have them guys going all the time. So I go for the Saints in this one. They should be 5-7 at the end, and I think the Rams are a team that will probably miss the playoffs this year. The way the Cardinals and the Seahawks are playing, I think they'll just be number 3 in that division, and I don't think their record will be good enough to get into a wild card. Then one of the games of the weekend. So we have the Eagles at the Ravens. This is Jalen Hurts against Lamar Jackson. This is Saquon Barkley against Derrick Henry. These are 2 players, a quarterback who's been linked for MVP. One man is quietly sneaking up in the Eagles uniform, while the other man has been the current MVP and looking to retain his title. On the running back side, Saquon Barkley is on record to break all Philadelphia records at running back. Derrick Henry is an animal that you just cannot stop unless you put a wall in front of it, and it's very hard, and he'll get through that at times as well. So it has the makings, and I'm not counting their wide receivers, tight ends, or defense. Both defenses are very strong. They have world-class tight ends. They have world-class wide receivers. So I'm just on about these 2 spots. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going for the Eagles. I think their game is a bit more flexible, and with the wide receivers, Brown is playing, I think, at a higher level than Bateman is, or say Flowers is at the minute for the Ravens. And the Ravens did lose to a Steelers team a few weeks ago when they were shut down. And this defense, Eagles defense, can shut down their running game. And if they shut down their running game, I don't think their passing game is as good as the Eagles. The Ravens defense has improved a bit. They improved a lot against the Chargers. But will they be good enough to shut down this Eagles defense or offense this weekend? I don't think so. So for that reason, I'm going for the Eagles. Then another game of the weekend. It was game of the weekend and probably one of the games of the year for me a few weeks ago. I don't know what. It's a huge game. It's our Bills game against the 49ers. But I don't know, to be honest with you, what 49ers team are going to turn up, because the 49ers team that turned up against Green Bay last weekend were awful. You don't count it. We have to take it that it's going to be their A team. We have to beat their A team, and we have to beat the referees, even though the referees are okay. But that's my motto: beat everyone and look after yourselves. I was just reading there before I came on. Aaron Banks, offensive line, he's a concussion. Well, I don't know if he's going to be out, but this is their injury report. Nick Bosa, hip injury. Amadore Lenore, defensive back, knee. Trent Williams, tackle, ankle. Brock Purdy, quarterback, right shoulder. And CMC, Christian McCaffrey, was rested. Now, CMC, he's one of the best players in the NFL will play. I'm sure of that. But Brock Purdy question, Trent Williams question, Lenore question, Bosa question, Banks question. There are a lot of big players missing there if they're not going to play. That doesn't mean that we're going to steamroll them or anything like that, but it does mean that it'll be not as an exciting a game as it could have been with all these players. And you're also, Brandon Ayuk is out for the season. Another huge piece that's missing. We don't know how fit George Kittle is. Is he fully fit, or Deebo Samuel? So, the 49ers, unfortunately for them, have had an awful bad run of injuries. On our side, thank God, we have Josh Allen fit. But the big piece of news for me this week was seeing Matt Milano come back. We don't know will he play or how much he will play it this weekend, but just to see him back training, back in his gear with the pads on, the whole lot, it's brilliant. And Matt Milano is one of my favourite players in the Bills, and I just delighted to see him, and I can't wait to see him back out in the field because he will help us more. And if we get, and we'll just take one step at a time with him because it's just getting back first, like it was with DeMar Hamlin last year. But if we get Matt Milano back to 90 to 100% of what he was, we are only going to get better and better and better. And that is a good thing. I'm going for the Bills in this game. No surprise there. I will go for them anyway. It doesn't matter if Brock Purdy or Co is playing or not. We beat the Chiefs 2 weeks ago. We've had our bye. Hopefully a lot of the injuries and little niggles have cleared up, and we're raring to go, and we're at home. We have the number 1 seed in our sight. We have the pressure on the Chiefs. If we cannot let it off now, we have the foot over their neck. We have to make sure that we keep it there and wait for them to slip up and then take our chance when we get it. So I go for the Bills in that game. I hope it is a good game. I hope that a lot of the 49ers injuries clear up and they can play, because I want you have the Rams and the Lions coming. We have to be ready for them, and having cakewalks ain't going to make you ready for them. You need hard games, and this is the start of the season where time of the season where games start to get tougher, and we have to be ready for it. So I hope the 49ers are full strength, and I'm going for the Bills. Then on the Monday Night Football, we have the Browns at the Broncos. The Browns are 3-8, and the Broncos are 7-5. I go for the Broncos in this. The Browns did come off a good win against the Steelers a week ago. The Broncos did come off a brilliant win as well. And I just think Bo Nix and Co is just, simmering there nicely. I think they're going to make the playoffs. It would take a lot for them to catch the Chiefs to win the division. It's not impossible. The Chargers would have to do them a favour. The Raiders definitely would have to do them a favour this weekend. And one other team would have to do them a favour. And then, anything is possible. But we're going for this weekend. I'm going to pick the Broncos in this. Jameson Winston did play well last weekend, and the Browns did in the snow against the Steelers. But it's at Mile High in Colorado, and I just think that the Broncos will be too strong. And that is my thoughts for tonight. It's very cold out here, and again, we're in the middle of a bit of a very cold spell here. So if you see any steam rising from my breath, that's just the warmth in the shed. But it's enjoyable. The competition, as I said, that I've ran for the last 3 episodes, there's a question in each. If you want to enter it, you get the question and answer there. DM me on Instagram, Twitter, or X, or Facebook, your answers, and the draw closes tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Irish time or British Standard Time, and I'll do the winners will be announced tomorrow evening. I'll announce them on social medias. There's a mug and keyring by 3, so there'll be 3 winners, and I'll be in contact with them. And good luck to everyone that enters, and thank you for entering, and thank you for your support. For everyone out there, I wish you a very happy and healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Say thank you to anyone that you're grateful for. Don't keep it to yourself. Just a thank you means everything. I'm grateful for everyone that watches this, helps me, supports me, and there's some exciting little bits and pieces coming down the line that I'm looking forward to, and trying to grow this and get the Bills support a bit bigger in Ireland. And please God, next year they could be playing the Steelers in Croke Park, and that would be an occasion. But we can dream anyway. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I shall see you again on Tuesday night, where we'll review Game Week 13 and what the happiness and the sadness and the pros and the cons and the ups and the downs, and we'll talk about all the games there and then. And until then, my friends, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and go Bills.